is audible now? सुनाई पड़ रहा है सबको? सुनाई पड़ रहा है सबको? Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Sorry for the inconvenience. Before we start the program formally, let me welcome you all to this press meet being hosted by Regional Office Sangareddy, Pradhan Cheru on PM Viksit Bharat Rojgar Yojana. Now the program will be started by my colleague, Ms. Reddy.
Good morning, everyone. As Sir has already invited you, we welcome you all to the press meet hosted by EPFO, Employees Provident Fund Organization. We are here today to discuss about the recently launched Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana, which will be formally inaugurated on August 1st, 2025. August 1st, 2025 in Delhi. Apart from that, we'll also be discussing about the recent technological advancements and the initiatives taken by our organization. Now, we are here honored to have with us Sri Vishal Agarwal ji, Regional Coordinator Commissioner, Sangareddy, or also called as Pradhan Cheru. Along with his team, Srimati DGK Pavani, RC2, Sri M. Durga Prasad ji, RC2, Sri Dilip Meena, APFC. On this occasion, I request Vishal Agarwal ji to speak us about today's topic of discussion and also enlighten about the highlights of the scheme and other advancements made by the organization. So.
Thanks, Anusha. Good morning to all of you once again for coming, for taking this online session for the benefit of all the people, especially the new employers and the new employees who will be benefiting from the scheme. There will be a short presentation on the scheme after my initial address, but let me give you certain important highlights of the scheme. This scheme has been approved by the Union Cabinet recently and shall be formally launched on 1st August 2025, that is day after tomorrow. Not only it will be done in New Delhi, but all the EPF offices and other departments of Ministry of Labour and Employment, Government of India have been asked to launch in the best possible way so that there is sufficient awareness about the scheme amongst all the stakeholders, especially the new employees and the employers of all the sectors. The total outlay for this scheme is around 99,446 crores. That will be paid over a period of next 4 years. It intends to create around 3.5 crore jobs in the Indian economy. This scheme has two parts, Part A and Part B. Both the schemes are being administered through EPFO. It will be implemented through the field mechanism of EPFO spread across nooks and corners of the country. The registration period for the scheme is from 1st August 2025, that is from day after tomorrow, up to 31st July 2027, that is for the period of 2 years. There is a salary cap of rupees 1 lakh for both the part of the scheme, Part A as well as Part B. Part of the scheme is for the first time employees. That means those employees who have started working for the first time from 1st August 2025 and registered with EPFO through UN. The total benefit that will be given to them is rupees 15,000. It will be paid in 2 installments, first after 6 months and second after completion of the financial literacy program. Part B of the scheme is for all the establishments. For all the establishment it is for 2 years, and for those in the manufacturing sector it is for 4 years. So manufacturing sector. The salary cap for both the schemes is 1 lakh. That means those employees who are earning up to rupees 1 lakh are eligible for employees who are earning up to rupees 1 lakh are eligible for both part A of the scheme for first time employees and part B of the scheme for the employers, the establishments. In part B of the scheme, the maximum benefit that can be given per month is rupees 3,000 per month to all the employees who have been enrolled after to all the employers who are due to take benefits after 1st August 2025. The threshold has been kept moderate for 2 different sectors. Those establishments which have up to 50 employees, they have to increase 2 employees after 1st August 2025, and those who are having more than 50 employees, they have to increase 5 employees after 1st August 2025. The retention period is minimum of 6 months. That means all those employees who have been taken on board and for which the benefit is to be taken, they must work with the establishment for minimum period of 6 months. This was about the schemes part A and part B of PM Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. The further highlights of the scheme will be presented during the course of the presentation after my initial address. Then the second purpose for which we all are here to tell you about the recent technological advancements made by EPFO and other initiatives taken. There are many in that regard, but I will highlight only a few of them. The main one is we have recently amended our EDLI scheme. EDLI scheme stands for Employees Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme, which is a one-time lump sum benefit given to the dependents of the beneficiaries who were members of the EDLI scheme. The minimum amount has been increased to rupees 50,000 irrespective of the length of service. Previous there was certain gaps in this minimum. Now it has been made uniform of rupees 50,000. And second change that has been brought is that initially 12 months employment should have been continuous. Now gap of up to 2 months can be ignored and the EDLI benefits can be given to the beneficiaries of the deceased member. The next initiative that has been done is a very good technological advancement for the benefit of all live EPF members. Previously, the auto claims were settled within the limit of rupees 1,000 for advances to be taken by the members. This limit of auto settlement for advance claims has recently been increased to rupees 5 lakhs now. So all those advance claims, that means for any purpose like house building, like education, like marriage, like illness, if the amount is up to 5 lakhs, it will be auto settled without any requirement of any manual intervention by the field offices of EPFO. Then one more very good technological advancement made by EPFO is introduction of CPPS. CPPS stands for Centralized Pension Processing System. Previously, what used to happen is that the pensioner can opt only for a limited bank and limited branches for getting his or her pension. Now, the limit of the banks and branches has been done away with. He can draw pension from any scheduled commercial bank of India that has any branches at any place in India. So, if he retired from the jurisdiction of, say, the Sangareddy office, and he wants to draw pension from the Rangareddy office, now he can opt for that and get the pension directly from the Sangareddy office itself, irrespective of the fact that his bank lies in the jurisdiction of Rangareddy office. Then there are many more technological advances made. Let me list out 2 or 3 more of them. Then the next one is again for the pensioners, which is digital life certificate that can now be submitted through face authentication technology. So now members need not go to the bank or come to the EPFO office for submitting their annual life certificate. That they can do sitting at their home by using the smartphones, using this newly introduced technology for the benefit of all pensioners. Then there are certain processes that have been made online, like surrender of EPF exemption and submission of returns by EDLI exempted establishments. Then there was a concept of joint declaration for getting the member details changed. Previously, members had to face lots of red tape and problem in doing this changes in his member profile. Now this process has been simplified both in terms of level at which it will be improved as well as the number of documents required. In most of the cases, the changes can be done either by the member or with the approval of his employer, and there are very few cases that will land with EPFO office for approval. This will make the process not only simple but also seamless for the employees, the members, the employers, everyone. Then the last and most important is the initiative taken by EPFO called Prayas. Prayas is the initiative taken by EPFO where pension is given to the retiring employees in the month they superannuate. That means it has been made similar to the government pension. There is a system in government where the pension is given from the very next month to the retiring employees. Same thing has been introduced in EPFO for giving monthly pension to employees, to the retiring employees from the month of their superannuation. This is all from my side regarding PM Viksit Bharat Rojgar Yojana and some of the recent advancements and initiatives taken by EPFO. I once again thank you all for taking time for coming here and listening to us about the 2 important work areas that EPFO is looking after. Thanks to one and all. Now I will request my colleague Anusha to take the things forward from here. Thanks to all of you.
Initiatives taken by EPFO. Now we will have a short presentation on today's topic of discussion. Today's presentation will be dealing with 2 topics. One is the recently announced approved PM Viksit Bharat Rozgar Yojana. Previously it was also called as employment linked incentive scheme. The vision of this scheme goes with empowering jobs, formalizing futures and fueling growth. As we all know that in India around 90%, more than 90% of workforce is dominated by informal sectors. So one of our major objectives of this scheme is to formalize the workforce. And let us have a glance of the PMVBRY scheme. The total outlay of the scheme is around 10,000 crore, and which is focused on both manufacturing and non-manufacturing sectors. And the benefits for the manufacturing sector will be spanned for around 4 years, and for other sectors it will be for 2 years. And we are expecting a job creation of around 3.5 crore because of this scheme. And the scheme will be implemented through EPFO machinery across the country. And as our sir already mentioned, the scheme has 2 parts. Part A will be focused on first-time employees, and Part B will be focused on employers. So the scheme does not only cater to one stakeholder, but is trying to cater to different multiple stakeholders And the scheme will be formally launched on 1st August 2025, post which our registrations will be starting. The registrations will be till 31st July 2027. So our registration will be spanning for 2 years completely. And let us have a look at the objectives of the scheme. Our main objective is to create an additional employment in formal sector, and that to sustain the employment that is created. That is the reason why we are having a mandatory of 6 months retention period in the scheme features. And this is not just linked to one certain sector, but is focused on both manufacturing and non-manufacturing sector, thereby completely covering the whole spectrum of employment generation. However, we are having an extra focus on manufacturing sector, as we already know that manufacturing sector will be encompassing a lot of informal sectors, and we are also expecting that it will increase the social security coverage of workforce. We all know that EPFO main aim is to increase the social security benefit, so that the people who are enrolled under EPFO will be having a mandatory social security coverage when in times of need. Example, when they have some sort of health issues or post-retirement, or when they have certain emergencies like marriage, higher education, etc. And apart from that, we also have a financial literacy component in this as part of the scheme, which will enable the employees and also employers to cultivate a habit of savings. Now we will be focusing on the benefits of the scheme to employees. We will be having a financial support from government for the first timers, which will be a limited incentive to the employees, first time employees. And we expect that more youth will be inculcated into formal workforce because of this scheme. And financial literacy skills. For example, most of the workforce in India doesn't have a proper saving scheme, or they do not know where to invest and what to invest. Hence, as we already mentioned, there will be a retention period of 6 months. Post with the second component of the benefit to the employee will be deposited in a savings fund. And the sustained employment, what is the benefit of sustained employment is many of the workforce just work for 1 or 2 months and then they quit the job, where they will not be gaining any sort of skill development. Because of the skill development, whenever they quit a job and they migrate to another job, they have a skill development. They can carry forward the skills that were gained in the first employment to the second employment. And when we come to the benefits of the industry, the offset cost of additional job creation will be taken care to a limited extent by the organization or government, and the enhanced workforce productivity also. Because when people quit the jobs immediately with less number of months experience, the productivity of the organization will also be falling apart. And we incentivize coverage of social security net. We have 2 parts in the scheme. First part is for the first timers, that is the employees, and the eligibility is that first timers with monthly gross salary of less than or equal to 1 lakh rupees. Here a point to be noted is that it is a gross salary, so all the emoluments that will be paid to the employee on the basis of the contract will be included here. And this is not for employers. The part-time incentive is only for the employees, and it is applicable to first-time employees of both unexempted and also exempted establishments. And the incentive structure, it will be 1 month wage up to a 15,000 ceiling, and it will be for 2 installments. The first installment will be paid after a retention period of 6 months of filing the ECR. ECR is electronic challan cum return. And the second installment will be payable after 12 months of ECR filing plus completion of mandatory financial literacy course. So this financial literacy course is a mandate, and the second installment will be paid only after the completion of the financial literacy course, thereby creating a savings atmosphere in the economy. And it promotes the habit of saving. Second installment will be retained in a savings instrument or deposit account and will be available for withdrawal after a fixed period of time. And this is a one-time incentive for the employees. So first 6 months, after the first 6 months, the benefit will be given to the employee, and then after the 12 months, it will not be directly given to the employee, but will be deposited in a savings instrument or deposit. The registration period will start immediately after the launch on August 1st, 2025 for a period of 2 years. And the payment will be done directly to the bank account of the employee. So there will not be any spillovers or leakages. Why do we have Part A? It will facilitate the hiring of first-time employees. Most of the organizations or the establishments across will be trying to get the employment from the already experienced candidates, because they will be having to incur the training costs and all those things. However, this Part A will incentivize both the employee and employees, and also indirectly incentivize the employers also from Part B to take or hire the first-time employees. Unemployment for first-timers in India is over 9% throughout, although the overall unemployment is 2.5, that's a 3.2%. And we can see a skewed discrimination here between first-timers and the experienced ones. Employers hesitant to take first-timers because of lack of basic skills, low productivity, which are termed as unemployable, and high attrition, which hinders skill formation and no productivity gains for the employers. When any new hire is taken into an organization, the employer has to incur a cost of training, which will hinder the employer to take the first-time employees. What we are aiming to, because of this incentive, is partially offset the initial cost of taking up the job, that is search cost, transportation, housing, etc. And we also try to inculcate a behavioral change to push the employees to stay for at least 6 months, thereby enabling them for the skill development and also accommodating with the system in place. Now, when we are focusing on the Part B of the scheme, Part B is aimed at employers' incentive. It will incentivize employers for additional job creation, because we already know that employers will be responding to incentives given by the organization. And labor incentive sector, a point to be noted here is that we are focusing more on manufacturing jobs. That is the reason why we are extending the scheme for 4 years to manufacturing sector, because manufacturing sector is one of the most labor incentive sectors that we have across the country. So labor incentive sector have a high percentage of labor cost also, hence incentives lead to more hiring. So schemes work on the margins, reduced marginal cost leading to additional employment, automation versus labor. Especially in this age of artificial intelligence, this is very much needed. The same way, we are also trying to create a behavioral change among employers also, similar to employees. It pushes the employers to sustain job for at least 6 months, leading to skill formation for employees and higher productivity for the employer. So now Part B, eligibility is all establishments registered with EPFO, including exempted establishments. And we have a threshold of at least 2 additional employments for establishments with less than 50 employees, and at least 5 additional employees for establishments with more than 50 employees. Again, we need to note that again sustained employment for at least 6 months is needed for any sort of establishment to avail the benefits of the scheme under Part B. Additional employee can be a first-timer or a rejoining. Part A incentive is only for first-timers, whereas Part B incentive is for both first-timer and rejoining. Hence, any establishment which is having a rejoining also, for the purposes of Part B, we will be taking that enrollment. An incentive structure is based on the monthly wage slabs as per additional employee with a gross wage of up to 1 lakh per month. And the incentive will be 10% of the wage, subject to maximum of 3,000 rupees per month. Incentive duration is for 2 years for all sectors, non-manufacturing sectors, and 4 years for manufacturing sectors. The payment mode, it will be directly to the bank account of the establishment, and the direct the benefit transfer will be to the PAN link account. Now let us look at the common features of this scheme. All new employees whose gross wages exceed 1 lakh will be counted for the purpose of deciding the additionally and eligibility of the employer, but no benefit will be provided in respect of them. That is only for the purpose of Part B number calculation for number of employees included. We will be taking this till 1 lakh rupees, but no benefit will be counted for more than a gross wage exceeding 1 lakh rupees. First timer is the one who joins the establishment after August 1st, 2025, and their contribution is received for the first time in EPFO or any exempted trust. Compliance requirements. Employer has to submit his GST, PAN-linked bank accounts for availing this benefit of the scheme. His GST, PAN-linked bank accounts for availing this benefit of the scheme. Whereas employee must be having an UAN authentication with face authentication technology and Aadhaar-linked bank account using Umang app. Now let us go through the second session of this PPT, which will focus on recent technological advancement and other initiatives taken by EPFO. First, we have joint declaration process. We have simplified it from January 2025. Joint declaration is something where for any change in basic details, both the employer and the employee has to give in writing for a consent to request the organization for a change. For example, the date of birth or name, etc. We need the declaration from both employer and employee side. Previously, the number of documents or the level at which the change will be approved used to be a little bit longer. However, we have simplified the joint declaration process. Now, the level at which the change can be executed have been decreased. The number of levels it will be passing through will be decreased. And also the documents that can be submitted by the member, the number of documents and the type of documents have also been rationalized. We have integrated with it the DigiLocker. For instance, the number of documents without the DigiLocker, if it is 2, then if in case DigiLocker is activated, the number of documents is just 1. So only 1 document instead of 2 documents will be enough for making the JD request. And the second thing is like we have simplified Jeevan Praman through face authentication technology from any Android smartphones without visiting EPFO office or bank, as already stated by Sri Vishal sir. And previously, for availing this benefit, the members used to come to office or go to any bank, which has now been done away with. And implementation of CPPS, centralized pension payment system. Now pension claims can be processed with any bank account of any branch of any scheduled commercial bank anywhere in India. For instance, Sangareddy office used to have 4 banks associated with us before the before the rollout of this system. And we have made some amendments to Employees Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme 1976, where we have a minimum of 50,000 benefit irrespective of the length of service before death. Previously, we used to have a mandate of 1 year continuous service to avail the minimum benefit, whereas now we don't have that thing. We have a minimum of 50,000 irrespective of the length of the service. And before the amendment to the scheme, we need to have a continuous service of 1 year in a same organization or establishment for availing the benefit. Now, even a maximum of gap of 2 months between 2 organizations is also treated as a continuous service for availing the benefit. We also simplified the transfer claim process. That is, when a member transfers from one organization, one establishment to other establishment, he has to make a request for transfer of their deposits, which now we have simplified the process, and we are also handling the overlapping service period also for settling those claims. Process of advances under Para 68B7 now is based on self-declaration. Para 68B7 deals with addition or alteration of house. Before this amendment, before this circular, we need to have a minimum of 5 years gap between taking of an advance for construction and advance for alteration or addition or alteration of house. Now we don't have that requirement. We can directly apply for addition or alteration advance. Now we have a new online module simplifying surrender of exemption from EPF scheme, which was earlier we need to have a physical submission with a lot of documentation. Now we have simplified it and made it online. Allotment and activation of UN through Umang app using technology. We have direct UN allotment and activation, and also for the existing UNs also we are having UN activation. And for existing activated UNs also, we are having face authentication service. And then previously, delinking of erroneously linked member IDs from UN used to be quite tough. However, now we are giving an option to the member itself to raise the request. If there is no overlapping service, the member can automatically delete from his side. Whereas if there is any overlap service, it will be coming to our office and we will be scrutinizing the case on a case-to-case basis. Member UIN cannot be linked with establishment without OTP-based authentication by the member. So a lot of flexibility and a right has been given to member on his UIN number, UIN creation. Process of submission of monthly online returns, that is Form 7IF, by EDLA exempted establishment has been made online. And the last and the most important thing is we have enhanced our auto settlement limit for advance claims up to rupees 5 lakhs to ensure faster access to funds for members. Most of the claims that land in our system are related to advances, which are applied by the member in emergency situations. So now we have made it auto settled for most of the cases, provided a ceiling of 5 lakh rupees, which has both decreased the burden on our organization and also has given a huge benefit to the member. Sir, the presentation is done, sir. Thank you everyone for patiently listening to the presentation. Now we will have the floor will be open for any questions. I request you all to please raise your hand and we will call on you and pass the mic so that we can conduct this more organizedly. Sir, it will be coming on your face. It will come on your face. Once again, remind you, please raise your hand and we will call on you and pass the mic. Now I request Sri Vishal Agarwal ji and his team of officers to address the questions raised by the media. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I request you to please introduce yourself along with the media channel name and then start the question.
Good afternoon. I am Siddhartha from New Indian Express. My question is, can you elaborate about this financial literacy course?
See, what happens in India, that most of the workforce that is working, it is not financially literate. Due to which, so by way of this Viksit, Bharat, Rozgar, Yojana, what the government is trying that incentives should be linked to the financial literacy of the member. So what will be done? There will be a short course or a short program that is in the finalization stage, and that will be followed by a simple test, simple objective test, or whatever the government decides, which will show that the member has learned something about the financial literacy. And based on the outcome of that, the second installment will be paid. That will again be deposited in an account that will help for his future, because it will act as a saving. So, because by virtue of that, it will become financial literacy coupled with immediate saving based on the literacy that he has gained. So, that is the intention of the financial literacy course. There is no state-wise allocation done. It is on pan-India level. The job expected to be created is around 3.5 crores. Across India.
You are saying that Part A is for first timers. First timers, is it freshers coming out of college and joining jobs, or is there any age limit for the first timers category?
There is no age limit for any for the first timer. Only thing is that he should have employed for the first time post registration on 1st August 2025, and his EPFO contribution should start after the due date. So these two things are to be ensured. First is the employment and second is the payment of EPF contribution. Ensured. First is the employment and second is the payment of EPF contributions. If these two conditions are satisfied, there is no age restriction for the first timers.
Do we have the numbers, like how many are available? Because from COVID, I think it was launched. Do we have a numbers of, at least statewide, how many are available so far?
We don't have the numbers in terms of absolute thing, but roughly around 60 to 70% of our claims, or even more than that, are advance claims. So the previous limit was 1 lakh, now it has been increased to 5 lakhs. So I think the claim will settle very fast and people will get the benefits faster.
No doubts.
Yeah, we can answer in Telugu. Yeah, we can answer in Telugu also. Okay. I think we can have 1 or 2 questions in Telugu as well. It will benefit each one of you as well as the listeners of this program.
మీరు క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగకపోతే మీకు స్కీమ్ అర్థం కాలేదని భావిస్తాను. మీరు క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగకపోతే మీకు స్కీమ్ అర్థం కాలేదని నేను భావిస్తాను. లేదా బాగా ఎక్కువ బాగా క్లియర్గా అర్థమైందండి. రెండిట్లో ఏదో చెప్పండి. ఓకే, లోగో తీసుకుంటారు. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ ఫైన్. అది ఎడిటర్లీ తీసుకుంటారు. కానీ అదర్వైజ్ అదర్ దాన్ దట్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్స్, ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఆర్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ అంటే పీపీటీ చూడగానే మొత్తం అర్థమైంది అంటే ఇట్స్ వెరీ గుడ్. వీఆర్ వెరీ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అండి. ఉందా? ఓకే.
Before we close. Part B is available for, so Part A is not. First, Part A is only for employees.
There is a clarity on this, like if the UN media interaction held as part of their.
We are deeply grateful to the media representatives for your active participation, insightful questions, and your continued role in spreading awareness about such government initiatives. Your support ensures that vital information reaches every corner of society, especially the youth and small enterprises that can benefit the most from this scheme. Support ensures that vital information reaches every corner of society, especially the youth and small enterprises that can benefit the most from this scheme. Our sincere thanks also goes to the officers, field staff and speakers from EPFO who have worked tirelessly to organize this outreach effort and communicate the objectives of the scheme with such clarity and passion. A special word of appreciation to our logistics and IT teams for the smooth conduct of today's interaction. As we continue our outreach with PMVBRY, we request the media's continued cooperation in highlighted success stories, educating employers and encouraging these.
A small lunch for you people. Kindly have it before leaving. Thank you.
I request everyone to please collect this document before leaving. Just take this document before leaving for discussing other side.
Media brief.